everyone! This Christmas I'll be taking a look at Happy Feet for PS2. And trust me, you don't want to pick up this penguin.
Happy Feet is a movie, I guess. What do I think of the movie? Well, it's interesting, I'll give it that. Honestly, this is one of the most bizarre mainstream animated movies I've seen.
I'm feeling so lonely, baby. I'm feeling so lonely.
Story-wise, it's pretty standard family movie fodder. The penguins of Emperorland all have their own heart song, which they use to attract a mate. That is all except Mumble, who expresses himself not through singing, but through dancing. As you might expect, it's a movie all about acceptance, embracing differences, and detaching yourself from the crowd. It conveys a very nice message about perspective. What one person may deem unorthodox and contemptible, someone else may perceive to be unique and beautiful.
You got the most charisma of anybody.
It's a solid message and conveyed very effectively. Or at least that's the case for the first 3/4 of the movie. The story kinda loses me in its final act, as it kinda turns into a whole other story altogether, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. What makes the movie more of an oddity to me is that it's interspersed with some extremely incongruous musical dance sequences accompanied by some very ill-fitting pre-existing copyrighted music. By stark contrast, some scenes are also oddly very realistic and accurately depict penguin life. Even the animation itself looks somewhat lifelike. But when the penguins break out in song, the tonal shift is extremely jarring. Really, I'd say it's a very odd movie. Watchable, sure, but weird. And obviously, with the release of the movie, there was of course an accompanying tie-in video game. Now, while I usually discuss games in their entirety, in this case I will be glossing over some levels. The reason being that the whole game is exactly the same throughout. You have dance levels, sliding levels, and swimming levels. That's it.
No, really, that's it. It's just that black and white. Much like a penguin.
You're taking all of our fish!
While the game does indeed follow the plot of the movie, they may as well not have bothered.
Yahoo!
It's extremely simplistic and woefully uninspired. I don't remember the last time I reviewed a game I had so little to say about.
In the ancient tradition of the Emperor Penguin,
The game opens with your standard narration, which is a nice touch, although it would be nicer if the subtitles matched the pace of the dialogue.
while the fathers tend their eggs, enduring the long, dark season.
Gah! Can't you talk a bit quicker? You know, pick up the pace?
The game opens exactly as I expected, with a dance level.
If you see an arrow pointing to the right, press right.
And yes, they really explain what to press for every single arrow individually. I know this is a kid's game, but come on, no kid is that dumb. I think they can figure out that up means up. Predictable as this dance format is, I must say I wasn't expecting to be playing as an unborn penguin hatching out of an egg.
Whoa, that's his little foot there.
Every time you miss an arrow, you lose a grace note.
You can do better than that.
If you lose all of them, you need to start over. And trust me, this is something you absolutely don't want, as this level goes on for an excruciatingly long time as it is.
See what I did there?
As in the movie, Baby Mumble here is voiced by E.G. Daly.
Hi, Mom. I was fishing.
As always, she does a decent job and all, but whenever Mumble speaks, I can't help but picture Tommy Pickles.
Where's my reptile puzzle?
Really, it sounds like the little rugrat just grew some feathers and learned to tap dance.
Boy, what I tell you about them feet.
I'm just being happy, Pa.
Thanks to Mumble's irrepressibly happy feet, everyone sees him as an outcast, and so later that day, his mother Norma Jean decides to drown the little bastard.
Oh, no, of course not. This is where she teaches us how to swim.
Good job.
Swimming through bubbles stops Mumble from running out of air. We also need to practice collecting things, which is something we'll be doing a lot in this game. While the items themselves vary from level to level, all the collectathon missions are basically identical. The more collectibles you find in a level, the better the medal you receive at the level completion screen. The third level introduces belly sledding, which Mumble practices as he races Gloria to school.
Whoa, no, not that Gloria. Poor thing wouldn't stand a chance.
Mumble can perform tricks in the air, although Gloria teaches you this at a time when you simply don't have room to perform them.
Press X button again to do a trick.
If you attempt to perform a trick when you're not high enough, Mumble will, tumble.
You keep doing that and you won't be black and white anymore. You'll be black and blue.
To be honest, I genuinely don't understand why the tricks exist.
Wow.
They don't seem to boost your score in any way, so why would you even bother knowing there's a greater risk of slowing down?
Right on.
Anyway, before long, Mumble shows off his vocal cords to his teacher.
Yeah, that's Tommy Pickles, all right. I'd recognize that angelic voice anywhere.
Euphoric. Can't wait for Mumble's debut album.
I wonder if there'll be a duet.
Silence! That is not singing. That is for starting the avalanche.
In order to improve his singing, Mrs. Astrakhan suggests he go for a swim again.
Yeah, I hate to break it to you, but we only went swimming about 5 minutes ago. I don't think we're going to do it again so soon. Oh, no, okay, no, we're going swimming again. Okay.
Some swimming and sliding levels are checkpoint races, in which you simply need to pass through all the checkpoints as quickly as possible, using the rings to boost your speed. Swimming through 3 rings in succession makes Mumble swim faster, but subsequently missing a ring slows Mumble down again. Swimming through the rings is quite the pain in the arse though, as the camera seems to swoop around without warning. There's a set path Mumble swims in, but it's not always clear which direction he will turn, and this makes it so easy to miss the rings. The quicker you complete these races, the greater your reward. The more medals you obtain, the more dance sequences you can view without all the arrows invading the screen, which is something, I suppose. I don't know why the developers thought I wanted to see this, but it's a thing.
Life well spent.
Okay, so it's pretty clear how this game pans out just from looking at these opening levels. It basically feels like your average family movie game, interlaced with totally random dance sequences to copyrighted music. Pressing enough arrows in a row allows you to build up combos.
Look at him go!
Although, like with the belly sledding tricks, these don't seem to serve any purpose. Really, the combos don't give you any kind of special bonus or anything.
What the hell? Where'd all the arrows come from?
Time for lunch, Flipper boy.
Eventually we meet the Skua. This is a pretty major scene of the movie as it features the first mention of the elusive aliens, aka the humans. And I figured maybe they'd make this a boss fight or at the very least a chase level. But nope, it's just another sliding level.
We are gonna.
Unlike the Skua, the game never really takes flight.
Less like a skua and more like, well, a penguin, I guess.
Wait, I can feel something following me close behind. It's breathing down my neck. Is it the Skua?
Not you again! Hey, Super Shag, you're in the wrong game!
This game honestly feels like a massive movie game cliches to me. We've seen the likes of the belly sledding before numerous times, and in better games at that.
What do they mean you're not allowed to graduate with us, Mumble? It's not fair. It's not like you're hurting anyone.
That's not what the elders are saying.
Eventually, Mumble suddenly becomes a
Man penguin.
Speaking of which, I'm not hugely clued up on penguin biology, but I never understood why Mumble's appearance never really changes as he becomes an adult, other than to visually distinguish him from the others.
Honestly, it's never once explained. It's like seeing a grown man with a baby face. It's just weird.
And the first level as an adult penguin sees us, belly sledding, as we once again race Gloria.
So close.
And by the way, controlling Mumble when he's sliding is just ridiculous. While the levels are never taxing, it's not the easiest to obtain all the items as you're constantly hurled about the place. Sometimes it's also unclear which direction you're supposed to be headed in, but it really doesn't matter as you wind up at your destination regardless of the route.
Where's Mumble going?
Mate, your guess is as good as mine. Everything looks the bloody same in this game.
And just when you think it can't get any worse, we have to endure...
Singing! Yeah, sorry guys, but you've sung yourselves into this. Ready? Aim! Fire!
Shortly after this abomination, we encounter the terrifying leopard seal, who is every bit as terrifying as in the movie. Seriously, after all the movie's marketing showcasing a kid-friendly, cute dancing penguin, I wouldn't be surprised if the kids who went to see it wound up absolutely traumatized. Really? Really, some of the imagery in this movie is creepy as hell, although it's certainly not the creepiest looking animation I've had to watch at Christmas.
I think we all know what I'm referring to.
I would think about climbing on board.
Ugh. Bring back the leopard seal.
There are 2 other flea levels in the game, and they're not much different. In fact, the one of them sees you outswim the exact same leopard seal.
That's some fast food.
How inspired. Now, while these are actually incredibly simplistic, the first time I encountered the leopard seal, I didn't fare too well. The reason being that up until this point, the player has been encouraged to swim through rings.
Swim through all the rings!
Yes, thank you, Marlin.
But here, the idea is to actively avoid the rings, as they basically indicate where the leopard seal is going to strike.
Ouch!
Down low. This won't hurt much.
So yeah, it basically looks like I was sacrificing myself to the leopard seal here. And considering how tedious this game is, who could blame me?
I hold my flippers up in surrender. Take me.
Missed again.
The fewer bites you receive, the better your score.
What's your name, Fluffy? Mumble. Good to meet you.
At some point we meet the amigos, who take us, belly sledding.
Yeah, I take it there's not much to do in Antarctica.
Well, this sucks.
Indeed, I'd like to say the game picks up at this point, but as usual it just sees you complete the exact same tasks you've already been doing on a rota since the outset.
Hey, Tallboy, what other cool moves you got?
Well, I can swim and I can dance. That's just about it, really.
How about you use those smooth moves to help us collect some love stones?
Before long, we have to collect love stones, the objective being to attract a mate.
You got it!
Or as I like to call it, to pick up a penguin.
Almost there, man.
You've probably noticed that Ramon here isn't voiced by Robin Williams as he was in the movie. Unlike Elijah Wood here, he has some integrity.
He couldn't drag me in there if he paid me.
Instead, Dan Castellaneta provides the cover voice, as was the case for Disney's Aladdin franchise. And he doesn't do a bad job, really, even though there are times when he sounds oddly familiar.
What the? When did Homer join the party?
What's that?
After Mumble and the Amigos discover some kind of strange alien object, we collect more love stones for the elusive Lovelace, who may be able to provide some answers about the aliens. Now, this Love Stone level is without a doubt the most difficult level to obtain the gold medal. In order to do so, you need to hit the speed boosts to collect a lot of the Love Stones towards the end of the level. And it's so difficult to aim Mumble as the physics just fling you all over the place. It often feels as though you have little to no control over him, and it's very frustrating.
I once saw something like that around a skua's leg. He said he got it from the aliens, and they strapped him down and probed him.
This, friend, is my sacred talisman.
Talisman? It looks like someone's been on the booze to me.
I'm looking at you, Homer. You're out of the team.
A little while later, Lovelace leads the way to the Forbidden Shore, where the aliens reside. And after many, many more levels of swimming, sliding, dancing, and collecting things for no reason, we eventually find the boat that leads us to the Forbidden Shore.
There's gotta be another one on its way. I'll just wait right here till...
Mumble awakens in a zoo, where he dances for his adoring public. Now, this is where the story takes a bit of a diversion in my opinion. Sure, the humans are alluded to early in the movie, but here it feels as though the plot completely changes. What starts as a story about an outcast penguin learning to embrace his individuality suddenly turns into a somewhat preachy and laughably unrealistic story about overfishing and saving penguin kind.
He's communicating with us. We tap, he answers.
Shortly afterwards, the humans release Mumble because... the writers couldn't think of a way a penguin could feasibly escape of his own accord?
I mean, let's face it, penguins are hardly masters of stealth. Well, not all penguins anyway.
Hey, what's that?
You didn't see anything.
Narratively, this part of the movie makes absolutely no sense at all. Like, the humans capture Mumble and put him in a zoo. He dances for them to rapturous applause, and then they attach a tracking device to him and release him. I mean, I understand the intention was to locate the rest of the penguins, but realistically, they would never have released him. If you owned a zoo and happened to capture a unique tap-dancing penguin for your enclosure that proved to be an unprecedented success with the audience, you'd logically exploit the hell out of it. It sounds mean-spirited, because it is, but that's more than likely what would happen. If this movie was more realistic, it would have ended with Mumble in captivity and forced to dance like a slave for the rest of his miserable life, all in the name of profit.
It's bleak, alright, but that's life. Merry Christmas.
And what about the other penguins at the zoo? Presumably they're doomed to spend their lives in captivity. Well, that's a great message. They have no unique talents, therefore they're expendable. Good for nothing but vapid, exploitative human entertainment. You know what, for a movie with happy in the title, this sure is depressing. With the tracker attached to him, Mumble has to return to Emperorland. Once there, he then leads the other penguins in one final dance-off to ultimately convince the humans to stop stealing their fish. Somehow. So, the humans completely change their minds because,
They can dance? Is that the moral here? Upon seeing that they can all dance, surely the humans would just take the lot of them. I can't think of a logical ending to this movie that wouldn't end in outright misery.
Speaking of outright misery, that's pretty much it for the game as well.
Alright!
And I think we can all agree that was a steaming pile of penguin poo.
I'm out of shape.
But that's not quite everything. There's also family mode, which is an odd way of saying multiplayer games. I guess the developers only ever expected people to play with their siblings and not their friends, which is an understandable assumption, to be honest.
I imagine if you did show this game to your friends, they're probably not your friends anymore.
Here you can play a variety of games, including belly sledding, dancing, and swimming.
Ouch!
Yes. A variety.
With belly sledding, player 1 has to steer between rock formations to earn points, while player 2 simply has to tap the on-screen buttons to break the ice barriers blocking the path.
Oh yeah!
And yeah, this is so easy that I actually played this game entirely by myself with 2 controllers.
Wow!
There's no indication of what's expected of you either. Like, whatever score you get, the game doesn't congratulate you or anything, it just tells you what you scored. I mean, great. Did I do well or what? Meanwhile, the dancing levels are expectedly basic, and certainly not worth digging your dance mats out for. Unlike Jungle Book, there are no additional power-ups to spice up the dances. It literally just requires you to tap the arrows. Finally, there's a swimming collectathon game in which you're encouraged to bump your opponent out of the way to collect the most items.
Hey, watch it.
I really don't see the point in the breath meters here though, as their depletion is of absolutely no consequence. Once they're empty, they just refill. Like, what's the point? The same goes for the grace note meters in the dance game. They seem to serve absolutely no purpose. This game is one of the most boring, uninspired movie games I've ever had the displeasure of playing.
Alright!
The dance levels are passable but very average, and the other levels aren't varied in the slightest. It genuinely felt like I was playing the same levels over and over on a loop.
Terrific! That's a goal!
It suffices to say, Happy Feet the game is an ironically unhappy experience, and ultimately left me feeling rather cold.
Happy feet? More like crappy feet. Take it away, Gloria! Hey everyone, it's good to be back again. Merry Christmas. I don't know when I'll be back again, to be honest, as I always say these days. I've been very, very busy lately. I'm actually quite amazed I managed to do this video. Fortunately, it was a very, very low-key video game. I hated every second of it, but it was thankfully very short. So, yeah. That's a good thing, I suppose. There's one positive thing to say about the game. The Coraline video last month massively took off out of nowhere. I mean, I can't say it like went viral or anything, but it got some good publicity on Instagram, bizarrely. So, yeah, I'm very grateful. Hello to all the new subscribers. I'll hopefully see you soon. Bye-bye for now.
Just as an additional note, guys, I will also need to get some new equipment in the new year. The laptop I use to edit these videos is well and truly on its last legs. I've delayed getting a new one for as long as possible. It's served me well for almost 6 years now, and it pains me to part with it, but it's literally falling apart at this point. I'm also considering getting a new capture card. This was another one of those games that I don't think looks the best possible quality, as my capture card exaggerates the contrast in any scene that's either really dark or really bright. And before I started working on this video, knowing that the entire game is based in Antarctica, I had a feeling there would be issues recording it, and there were. I'm not sure if these issues are conveyed in the video, as I do try to rectify it in editing, but if it ever appears overly bright, that's the reason. Anyway, enough of the boring technical talk. These issues aside, I do intend to be back soon, and preferably with a decent game. Please request just a good one, I beg you. Hope you enjoy the review as always. I'll see you next year. Merry Christmas, guys. Have a good one. Bye-bye for now.
I'm free!